Good afternoon, Growlers. I wanted to tell you a story. This is a true story that takes place in 2012. Not told many people about this. Kind of the most intense thing that's ever happened to me. It changed my life completely. It parallels a lot of other people's both paranormal stories and stories of sorcery. It's a little bit of both. So, intro. I'm diving deep into research on the, everything from AI and chemtrails to paranormal and UFO experiences, blah 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 blah. The same things you see me doing today, but this was right after the Snowden revelations. Okay, and I met this Swedish contact online. Call her the Swedish contact. She's probably an AI bot. She's probably not real. She probably was NSA or even foreign intelligence from another country, or perhaps an actual live agent. It'd be hard to say. There's photos, able to provide me with photos just to confirm the human identity, claiming that she was a victim of satanic ritual abuse, as it's sometimes called, MK Ultra style, cult, government, private practice. It's hard to describe, but in any case, during this contact and information exchange, we both really dug deep into a whole bunch of things, and we're exchanging information, and most of it was completely valid. That's why I don't understand why I was given access to some of the links that I had, most of which are now scrubbed from the internet. That was 3 Facebook accounts ago. I've lost 2 or 3 accounts since then. All of that data is gone, and most of it that was on my old computer and bookmarked also gone. I can't go back to these websites. It was a whole lot of just really dark shit. It's not good stuff. All the things I learned, they involved all the shit that's come to light in the last couple years, but they publicized in a way that is, propaganda, marketing spin, a way to debunk it, false news, fake news, blah, 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 blah. All right, so in that context, I'm in communique with this person. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I had taken some time to go out to a friend's house. There was 2 other people besides me, in a town of 92 people. 92 people. The whole county, I think, had like 2,500 people. Middle of the woods, middle of nowhere. Lots of hills though, real hilly. It's not like just flatlands or anything, but woods. Okay, and it's the winter time, and I quit smoking. I had switched to the healthiest diet I've probably ever had in my life. Everything was all organic. I knew the farmers down the road. Every piece of meat that I ate came from an animal that I could literally, drive to a mile away. All the milk, everything was farm-raised, fresh, organic, locally grown. Okay, and we had lots of, water purifiers and et cetera, et cetera. Like, I went on this real new agey kind of a diet thing, a purge, if you will, of all the toxic elements in my body, and started having lucid dreams again, all sorts of. It was really intense. It was intense. Okay, just the regimen that I was going through, and every single day we were out in nowhere. I didn't have a job. I just woke up and would read. That's all I did. Minus some outdoor exploring and some little chores and activities. I was carving things and building things, but no, I just read nonfiction, deep state. Blah, 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 blah. It was about that time that I determined for myself that I'd say 95% of the UFO activity that we experience is man-made. Most of it is man-made. I would say there's other stuff out there, but for the majority, it's top secret government programs. And then right around the same area, you end up with the whole secret space program, trademark, public, it entered into the public sphere in 2013 as this, like, don't know, a propaganda piece, maybe. Whatever. They came out with it. There was a lot of articles. A lot of it was just total disinfo bullshit. And I was also studying magic and the occult and the esoteric and everything from the Abramelin ritual to the Solomon. This is where I began my path into the true esoteric wizardry and learning how to do these things, and how to contact these things and work with spirits or whatever the fuck is going on, okay? Pardon my French. I'm trying not to cuss a whole lot in this video, but in any case, starts there, 2013. So, building up to the geminid meteor shower, okay? The geminids, and I think December 2013, 2012, this is the end of 2012, and yeah, and where we get this ice storm, and we're locked. We're locked in our house, you know, in our street. Everything was covered in ice. All the trees are just, the roads are impassable. Nobody's leaving. There's only 92 people. Nobody's salting or plowing or anything like that. This is just, we're screwed and we're stuck there. Luckily, we had some food stored up. I had quit smoking, so I wasn't, you know, hard up for cigarettes or anything. It was just like, okay, we're in the house for an indeterminate amount of time. All right, so during this ice storm, we did. How do I describe this? Okay, during the ice storm, I am still detoxing, fasting and stuff, and decide on the night of the geminids that I was going to recreate. I did a magic rite, and this was based loosely. It was, you know, you could call it chaos magic because there's not like a specific grimoire or something that describes these techniques, but I used an ancient pharaoh technique. I don't know if y'all know this, but chairs did not exist in pre-dynastic Egypt for anybody but royalty. In fact, chairs are a thing, but fairly modern convenience for the plebes, when at the time it was strictly royalty. A lot of these, you know, Babylon, like specific throne. I don't want to say chair, but thrones and stuff. There's a method, okay, of building a chair that you sit on, and when you know that feeling when you're leaning back and you feel like you're about to fall over and your body starts getting dizzy and you don't know what to do about it, and your brain kind of goes, oh, and you feel like you're gonna fall. Well, these thrones / chairs are designed to induce that feeling consistently. So I recreated this and watched the meteor shower in a position leaning back with this, you know, sensation that I'm about to fall over, and that was it. You know, no drugs, no. There is more to the magic ritual, of course, but there's no like psychoactive anything except for the chair. Okay, and so I'm watching. This is where it gets bizarre, and I think this was I don't know how to describe it. I'm telling you the story because it's about time that I relate this in a context where maybe, you know, these unanswered questions might have some kind of, I don't know, I need to get it out there. People, I would like some feedback. Anyway, watching the meteor shower, and it's silent except for the sound of all this ice. You can hear like tinkling, crispy, shattering glass sound of ice falling off of branches and stuff. It's about midnight, 2 a.m, and I'm staring into the sky and just, you know, doing my thing, and bam, I am fucking contacted. Okay, angel, alien, demon, interdimensional, what have you, I don't know. I am not at liberty to just confirm or deny what it was, but I was contacted, and it had basically just, hey, I am here in your mind. It was like a kind of a telepathic sense. I didn't see anything really, like no physical thing in the sky other than the meteors to identify as like where the sensation was coming from, but it was like in my head, hey, I am here. Do you have questions? And that's sort of the sensation I was given. And, you know, of course, yes, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening. I have so many questions, blah, blah, blah. And I start railing them off internally in a way that, you know, when you're thinking to yourself at a really high speed and you don't finish sentences and you're just meshing together whole strings of ideas and, as you know, stream of consciousness kind of a thing in my head, and I'm like, yeah, these are the questions. And for every split second that I had a question, there was an answer, and it was in the form of just an informational knowing, sort of just a confirmation. Yes, this is how it is, and it wasn't internal at all. It was definitely an external sensation, like aha, like no, I didn't come up with this. This was given to me, this information, and so I went through these questions to just sort of, what is magic? What is the, what is this powers that be thing? What is this secret cult that runs the world kind of a concept? Just anything I could come up with in the field of all the studies I was doing, the fluid intelligence and CIA projects and remote viewing, all of that sort of stuff. And, well, it led me through time, backwards in time. It led me backwards in time, just sort of connecting dots for me in a way that just sort of, it was showing me that this human power paradigm, hierarchy that exists was, evil. The seekers of power and those who exercise power were and are the same exact cult that it's been since, Enki and Enlil in the Sumerian methodology, Sumerian context, or any of these ancient evils, right? Like that this was the single thing that never went away was the power over money, the bankers, and the ability to control and manipulate human thought. That was it. That was basically what it boiled down to. Okay, here you go. Here's a chronological. This is every single piece of it, how it fits together to show you that what you got is an evil cabal and always has been an evil cabal. This was not necessarily profound now to a lot of seekers or activists or mystics or it's not a profound thought in for me to just say it now, but at the time the way it was expressed, like everything came together and I was just in shock, and I'm like, oh fuck, everything's evil. Everything is here to make you want to kill people or make you divide from each other, try to influence and manipulate public opinion to suit the needs of the elite. All right, that's where I was, and I'm like, oh god, this is awful. Okay, what do I do? What? I'm still in communique with this thing. What do you ask? Now what? What am I supposed to do about this? How can I influence or subtract from a global power paradigm that's existed for thousands of fucking years potentially with the assistance of these non-human intelligences? Okay, like, alright, the magicians, the wizards, the priests, yes, every caste in the hierarchy of religion and power paradigms, it's all the same. Now you've got CEOs, now you've got, these other versions of the priest king. It's still a priest king though, okay? It's the same thing, just in a different way. The doctors too, the witches were the doctors at that point. The priests were the administrators of holy lore, how to use your natural world to change yourself, change your psyche, anyway, okay, so all of this it's like a download. I've heard it referred to in recently with Ray Hernandez. He referred to it as contact modalities, all the different forms of contact, and how they're all really you're contacting the same thing: religious experiences, UFO, remote viewing, all of these different versions of near-death experiences. They all are really tapping into the same concept that consciousness, as we know it, and space-time as we know it, is not fully explained, and we don't really know what the fuck is going on, and that there is an intelligence of some kind on the other side of this veil, whatever this veil is, the veil of Maya, the illusory. It was the farthest down the rabbit hole I've ever fucking seen, and it wasn't my fault. I didn't seek these things. I was just watching a meteor shower, and I did later learn that these chairs that these thrones and stuff, when you sit in that particular way, you will induce like DMT type of response. And yes, a shamanic journey, another one of these contact modalities, the hallucinogenic, shamanic enlightenment. These are all various forms of the same concept of contact with this other non-human intelligence, or intelligences, conjurers and evocatory magic, ceremonial magic, all working on the same thing. Prayers, the Virgin of Guadalupe, the Fatima incident. So it was very, very real for me. Okay, it was so much information. I had garnered, what could have amounted to weeks and weeks worth of reading in like moments, and and I wasn't watching a clock or anything, so I can't recount if there was like missing time or anything like that. I don't know if that happened, but the end of the conversation with this thing, I'm like, well, okay, so what do I do? How do I do something? And it all seems so evil, so ugly now. What am I supposed to do about that? And then another thought came by, and it's like, okay, wait, there is an evil, which means there's a good. And I'm like, okay, so wait, the whole world is beautiful. There's this beauty to it that is resisting the entropy, the descent into chaos, the disintegration of order, the fight against death. That's what life is. This like resistance to entropy, like moss growing under the ocean to repel ocean waves from breaking the rock up that they're feeding on. It's metaphor and extends to all forms of living sentience, including, to me, bacteria, minerals, things crystals that can grow under certain conditions. These are all forms of a life resisting the physical entropy. Okay, and so I'm like, okay, this is beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. And I'm trying to sum this up really quick. I've only got so much time on my phone to be able to like speak all this and then save it and upload it. But so I say, well, it's beautiful then, and it's worth fighting for. And that's the only thing we can do is just fight it, fight the system, fight this like entropy, right? This monstrous, hideous, black, non-human intelligent presence that drives and motivates this evil. Okay, and suddenly the contact shifted, and it went from being a positive experience into a negative experience, like, and just flipped, and somebody else or some other thing kind of chimed in and was like, oh, is that how you feel? Oh, you think you can fight, right? Kind of a sensation. He didn't say anything like that, but it was more, just the sensation of, oh, you, ha ha, yeah, the joke's on you. And immediately, it went from silent, I'm getting the goosebumps. It went from silent out in the woods to every coyote and wolf within 10, 15 miles howling simultaneously. I'm thinking, I'm going to fight it. It's so beautiful. And I had a tear in my eye. I was like, this is worth doing. This is what it is. And then this other intelligence, or what have you, says, haha, you think you can do something? And every fucking coyote for miles starts to howl. And the laughing of the wolves, I've called it, to myself, in reference, like, oh God, there's more, And I got up. I stood up immediately. I was like, oh shit, the wolves, I gotta go. And I went inside, and I sat down, and I just tried to piece together what the hell had just happened. And, went to bed. Okay. Now, the next phase of this story is going to involve illegal drug use, all right? We're finally on edge the next day. Oh shit, we're stuck in the ice storm. We're running out of food. We have no weed. I was definitely still smoking weed. And dude's like, hey man, I got a safe. There's a pipe in the safe. We might have a little resin or something we could scrape. So he grabs it. Still something in it. Nobody hit it yet. Or somebody had hit it once, but there's like a whole bowl in there. So we all pass this thing around one time, like it's going out of style, like it's the last fucking weed on the planet. It's DMT. And nobody was prepared. I didn't know what happened. The second I hold this thing in is the entire event that took place the night before, the whole contact experience, replayed bit by bit as if it had never happened before. And every single moment of that thing replayed in my head. And basically, I made it concrete, gave it solidity, and was like, this is exactly what happened. And the entire thing just stuck. Like I replayed and relived the entire experience. And when I came to, there was some dogs licking me, dogs at the house licking me. I'm on the ground. I'm like, oh shit, man, you got fucking rat poison or something in your weed. We're gonna die. A couple hours later, oh yeah, man, I forgot we had a bowl of DMT in the safe that we've been saving. Blah. Okay, great. So anyway, that next day, I remember the entire event, right? So it definitely, like, every piece of it, okay, came back. So another day goes by. One more day. This is the very next day, and I'm like, I gotta, the sun finally came out and things started to melt. I'm like, I have to go look around. I have to go wander around the woods and think. And I get down to the bottom of the valley. Again, 92 people in this town. I get down to the bottom of the valley in the woods. Nobody out there for miles, and it's ice storm. Nobody can drive if they wanted to. And there's a drone just above the tree line. This is 2013. The end of 2012. And there's a drone, and he's hovering above me, and he's just watching me. And I tried to lose it, and I wandered through the woods, and it followed me, and then it followed me all the way back to the house. And, I'm researching Stuxnet at this time, too. So Stuxnet was a thing at the time. If you don't know if you're familiar with Stuxnet, but it was a computer virus created by the NSA, CIA to destabilize nuclear power plants of our enemies. Like, hey, here's a computer virus, we can shut down your power plant at will. It's supposed to, make things blow up. I was studying that. This is one of the things that I was looking into. The Snowden documents had just fucking come out. And, so yeah, this drone's following me. Go back home. Couldn't lose it. They just gave up, went home. And, I wake up the next day. And there's a metal taste in my mouth. Terrible, awful, god-awful, nasty, licking some kind of corrosive, terrible metal. I'm like, what the this is awful. What is going on? I asked everybody in the house. Yeah, I kind of tasted too. They didn't really taste the way I did, but they noticed what I was talking about. So I spent a couple hours trying to figure out what it could be, what their symptoms that resembled that, what it sort of tasted like, Turns out, and I found this on an international business. I think it was internationalfinance.co.uk or something like that. Not American news, not local news, but I found out from an overseas news source that the nuclear power plant 30 minutes down the road that I was kind of unaware or had slipped my mind that it even existed had some kind of terrible accident, and they had to dump all the mineral oil into the lake that night. And so this toxic wind was blowing over my house, my neck of the woods. And I don't know to this day if I was poisoned or anything, or what could have, what negative side effects are going to later on in life manifest from this. But, and I started spreading the news. I'm like, look, hey, why isn't nobody in the town knew, nobody anywhere was aware that this had happened? But it was a nuclear fucking accident. Apparently the second one in a year, and I started blowing up the internet about it. And my internet gets shut down. My Facebook, that was the first time that my Facebook had got shut down. It was from telling people that there was a nuclear accident, and then my internet got shut down. So somewhere over the course of the next 24 hours, I made the decision I had to leave. I'm like, I can't be here anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on out here. Things are getting really fucking bizarre. I've got to go. And I've definitely seen within the 6 months following me leaving that town, the 92-person town, following the following 6 months, I had at least 8 or 9 visual, line of sight UFO sightings. One of them was one I've never seen described anywhere else. So I take that back. There's 1 or 2 accounts of it, but it was a capital H shape, and it was middle of the day, like this, shiny silver bubble letter style, capital H, and it's just sitting there hovering. There's clouds, it's daytime, and it goes and creates a capital A, imagine the letter A, capital A, went from an H to an A. And then just disappear. And this thing was just above the tree line. And that was that was, I guess it wasn't above the tree line. It was maybe 15, 20 stories up, but really close. And I've never heard of that one. I didn't know what to think of it. So I did some digging. Only 1 or 2 other people have really reported the capital H UFO. I saw the black triangle maybe 3 weeks after this incident. I'm in the backyard of a different town, same state, different town. I think it's like 60,000 people in that town now, but it's like 4 in the morning. Nobody's awake. All, it's Midwestern sleepy town. Everybody's asleep. And I'm in the backyard smoking a cigarette, and it becomes silent. There's the sensation like I'm about to get struck by lightning. I can't hear leaves. I can't hear cars. I don't hear wind. Like, it just becomes dead, like uncomfortable silent. And I look up, and big giant black triangle the size maybe like 4 or 5 blocks. A light in each corner. And I was stunned, and my body still had this like electromagnetic jittery sensation, and like I was still smoking it, but like there was a numbing on my mind even. Like my brain kind of became, that fog you get from like a headache and you can't think straight. It was like there's no headache, but I had that same kind of a fog feeling. And this was about like 5 or 6 different sightings, all within the 6 months following this weird contact during a meteor shower. And so I've spent years now, man, and a couple times, I'm not gonna lie, a couple times using ceremonial magic, I'm not gonna say recreate, because it wasn't a recreation of the experience, but I've been able to, make brief moments of clairvoyant contact again. I don't know what to call it. You're messing with spirits. You're messing with UFOs. I don't know what the angels. Okay, I don't know. But I know that there's different ones. Okay, and they're not voices. It's not like a schizophrenic voice. Oh, they're watching me. Oh, they're with me. And it can only happen under certain conditions. I've listened to hours and hours of other people's experiences and how they would sum up their experience and stuff. And there's a couple people who've really got similar experiences, like very, very similar. And it boils down to, most of the time, you're sort of left with the sensation that you're supposed to connect with other people who know about this in one form or another. Wizards, other magicians, other experiencers, other contactees, other remote viewers, other near-death experiencers, all of these. You're just left with the sensation that the only way to help humanity is to share this kind of a message. So, and I haven't told anybody. I've told like maybe 10 people about, like, I've got a couple exes that know, like maybe 1 or 2 real good guy friends that know, but nobody really has heard this story, and I don't feel very comfortable telling many people. So it's pretty much me right now, just getting it off my chest. I'm going to write a very detailed analysis of this thing at some point. I've been planning on it. Like, it'll end up being like 20, 30 pages worth of material, me trying to explain everything that took place, because I just summed a whole lot of crap up that, there's a lot more that took place. There's the whole Nelson Mandela death that I was covering that also was getting me censored, and probably, I don't know, man, I don't know. I don't want to speculate on what exactly I was researching that got me on the red flag shit list, but I'm definitely on the fucking red flag shit list. And at this point, while I was out there, my computer was getting hacked and things being deleted as I typed them, and dude, it was, I was definitely hit with the red flag, So, if for nothing else, this is let this be a record. I don't know what to do with this information. I do. This is why I do magic. This is why I study the esoteric. This is why I study the fucking deep state. This is why my name on the internet was JC Justice, because this is what I seek. Indeterminately, unverifiably weird encounters that leave people feeling like an activist. These are there are so many other people. I'm not alone, and it's not an insane. I've not discounted the fact that it could have been. Okay, so you've got a government craft. You've got government mind control lasers or radio frequency technology, or that shit's real, right? They can do that kind of stuff, and you'd have to be a really high-profile target for them to use it, because it costs millions and millions of dollars just to put one operation into effect. So I don't think, for the most part, that these small potatoes people who experience this crap are really experiencing it. I'm not discounting them, but you have to be a high-profile target. Why would anybody? I don't consider myself that big of a target. It just doesn't seem like that would be what they're not trying to do that to me. I maybe I don't know. So, but yeah, I haven't discounted anything. I don't say I know what happened, but I downloaded information. I immediately read Valis by Philip K. Dick, which I'd never read before, and was so similar to the phenomenon I was experienced. And then I read Robert Anton Wilson's book on Sirius the Dog Star. I forget what the hell it's called. But he has a book about the Dog Star. I forget what it's called. You guys look it up. Robert Anton Wilson book. And then since then I've uncovered just tons of evidence that I'm definitely not in the singular here, and I thought I'd share this. Where it belongs in the context of magic, or deep state research, or the esoteric, or the occult, or UFO research. I don't know. It's kind of cross blends, man. Because to me, even at the time, there was this sensation that this thing that contacted me was a form of myself. It didn't seem like completely, distinctly separate, or maybe it was like it could read everything about me, right? Whatever this intelligence was, automatically knew everything about me, and knew the way in which knew the information, knew the way to present the information that I needed to hear. It was like customizing the data download thing specifically for me, or what have you, so that I would be able to understand. So I mean, I considered it, or have considered that it might have been what is referred to as the Holy Guardian Angel, the HGA, the Natal Spirit, the Celestial Guardian, your personal, the Qareen in Islam. It's like this spirit double that isn't you, but is outside of you, but is bound to you in some way, or to your psyche, or your soul, or something. There's a number of great researchers who've just blown my mind with information. And once you start integrating all of these into one concept, you don't say this guy's right, that guy's right. Nobody has all the answers. These are all just modalities. These are all everybody's different way of interpreting similar phenomenon in different ways. Like a religious person seeing angels, giving them. This Ray Hernandez guy just told a story that just blew my mind about a vaporous energy wave that he saw in his living room, and his dog was diagnosed with cancer and paralyzed and about to die, and he fell into this thing that he saw, and his wife experienced like an angel thing and missing time, and he experienced like 45 minutes of just like this psychotropic, psychedelic journey. And when he came to, 40 minutes had passed, and his dog was cured and running around like crazy around the house. He was paralyzed and about to die, and he's suddenly resuscitated by this like